The tension between Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Universal Champion Roman Reigns intensified on the penultimate SmackDown before WrestleMania 37. Tonight on SmackDown, as WWE delivered the latest build to the triple threat main event of this year's Showcase of the Immortals. The latest developments between the Blue Brand's top dog and his challengers headlined a show that also featured an appearance by YouTube celebrity Logan Paul, and the latest in the rivalry between Bianca Belair and SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks. What went down? Who emerged with momentum on their side? And what did it mean for the brand heading into the biggest show of the year? Find out right now on this latest edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. Hello, friends, and welcome to this edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. Don't adjust your audio. Yes, it is I, Anthony Florio, sitting in tonight for good old MF Michael Fletcher. Unfortunately, Dee Woodson will not be with us either. So the S Movement runs the show this evening, as I am joined by the Phenom Michael Bullock. So without any further ado, let's get right into this. We started the show this evening, the penultimate edition of SmackDown, the second to last SmackDown before WrestleMania. And we started it off with a promo by the Rated R superstar, the Hall of Famer, Royal Rumble winner, Edge. Great stuff here. Very good. I mean, you noticed as Edge exited the arena, he looked almost relieved, as if a giant weight had been lifted off his chest. It's not particularly surprising either. He has always been at this most comfortable as a heel, and now is no different. His promo on this show, announcing the reemergence of the Rated R superstar, was the best he has cut since this latest return, and sets the stage for him to cheat and steal his way to the Universal Championship come April 11th. Of course, his whole story arc is a lot like Batista's in 2014, which saw the former world champion return only to be overshadowed by Daniel Bryan. It'll be interesting to see if his return to the grand stage features the same result, or if he can thwart the surging leader of the Yes Movement and Tribal Chief to capture the top prize on Friday Night SmackDown. Hands down, this was the segment of the night. Well done. There's not much more to say. Michael Bullock, what Edge? What do we always say? Which Edge do we always say is the best Edge?
The Angry Edge is the best Edge.
You damn right.
And boy howdy, we saw it right here. And I don't know, Florio. I think this is beginning to look like the Rated R superstar that we saw late 2005 and basically near the at the beginning, late 2005, when we first heard of the Rated R superstar, and he's beginning to basically towards the end of his career, but he's looking more like that one from when his Rated R character got started. It's the one that basically, shall we say, made you want to hate Edge. And boy, how did he look like it, because he felt like he was getting overshadowed by Daniel Bryan. And yeah, I thought he looked really good here. Basically calling out both of his WrestleMania opponents here. And yeah, I mean, this is definitely a good build towards that Universal title match at WrestleMania. So there's really nothing more to say. I agree with you, Florio. This is indeed the segment of the night. So there's really nothing more to say. Let's move right along.
And we move on to our first match of the night, an 8-man tag team matchup. On one side, you had the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, alongside the Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis. And they squared off against Rey and Dominic Mysterio and the Street Profits. Winners of the match in 9 minutes and 35 seconds. The heel team, Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, Chad Gable, and Otis. They win the match 9:35 at the time of the fall. So, but before we get into that, it was announced, I believe earlier in this week, it was announced that next Friday night, there's going to be a very special WrestleMania edition of SmackDown. And on that show, we will see a fatal 4-way match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Ziggler and Roode to defend against the former champions, the Street Profits, the Alpha Academy, and the Mysterios. No big surprise on that. So we expected it, but it's very surprising that we're getting it on Friday Night SmackDown instead of WrestleMania. Obviously, they obviously don't want to overload the show. So a good call here to clear 2 hours of time devoted specifically to WrestleMania. So we'll get more into that in a little bit because there is some more stuff that we need to address on that. But for right now, Michael Bullock, come on back in. This 8-man served as a nice little preview here. 9:35, the heels, and they have the momentum going into that huge fatal 4-way tag title match next week.
Yeah, they definitely have the momentum going into that big fatal 4-way SmackDown Tag Team title match going on the special WrestleMania edition of Friday Night SmackDown next week, the final SmackDown before the actual WrestleMania. And I agree with you, Florio. When it comes to the tag team title match, I think this is a good call to put it on this instead of trying to overload WrestleMania, because you already got a lot of matches on there, so no need to overrun it even more. So I'm going to give this about 3 stars for the match. I mean, I thought it was a good, entertaining match. You know what? I'll give it 3.25. That's where I'm going to go with. So, yeah, the heel team definitely builds the momentum. So, will one of the heel teams capitalize and become SmackDown Tag Team Champions next week? We're going to have to find out then. So, 3.25 is my rating. Florio, it is yours.
Yeah, that's about right. There was little in the way of narrative or real flow to this one, as half of it took place during the commercial break. The action that there was, though, was explosive and highlighted what has been a solid division over the last 2 months. Chad Gable and Otis appear to be the hottest team in the division entering next week's title match, but this feels very much like an opportunity for WWE to book the Mysterios to make history and become the first father-son duo to capture tag team gold. The company does, after all, like to pat its own back when it comes to producing history-making events. So I would not at all be surprised if the Mysterios come out of that next week as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, go for that father-son history-making moment. I mean, and what a moment that would be for young Dominic. I mean, he's only been on the job for about 8 months. He debuted right around August of last year, right around SummerSlam time, and that's when he signed his contract. And how about it? Just only after 8 months on the job, you could become a co-holder of the Tag Team Championship with your own father. Your own father, who happens to be one of the all-time greats, and without a doubt, a future first ballot Hall of Famer in my book when he's ready to call it a career. So who knows when that'll be, because he still looks damn good. So, but anyways, I'm with you on this one, Bullock. A smaller, I'm going to go a little less on the rating here. 3 stars. I don't think it was quite 3.25, but you're right in the ballpark. A solid 3-star match, and I would say probably the second best fight of the night here. No doubt about that. No, this is the second best fight of the night. So, solid action all around. So very good. Then we had an in-ring segment here. Corey Graves conducting an interview with WrestleMania opponents Seth Rollins and Cesaro. And, Corey Graves moderated this face-off here between Seth Rollins and Cesaro, because, as you know, they will be squaring off as part of night 1 of WrestleMania. Cesaro is over. Only of the most interesting superstars ahead of WrestleMania. The surest way to kill his momentum is to book promos like this one, full of cheesy swing lines and no real substance. We know nothing more or less about Cesaro than we did prior to this promo, except for his penchant for puns that elementary students wouldn't find funny. Rollins did his best to deliver a money promo, but I'm sorry, this just did not click for me. And Bullock, I'm sure you agree with me on that one.
Yeah, I agree with you. And well, I just want to add one more thing. What the hell is Seth Rollins wearing? I mean, my gosh. I mean, I don't know where the hell he gets his his suits or whatever the hell those colored suits from. But oh my gosh, I'll say it. I'll say it like this, Florio. With that purple color, he looks like Barney the dinosaur. As far as I'm concerned. Move on.
Oh my. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is going to be like ridiculously raw. There will be some cutouts here. Unfortunately, we then had a match, and I'll tell you what. When I saw it was going to be these two, I had some hopes for this because I thought this was going to be a solid match at best. One half of the women's tag team champion Shayna Baszler squaring off against Natalya. On paper, that sounds like a 3 to 3.5 star match because of their bodies of work. We did not even get that. Natalya won the match in 35 seconds. This was an absolute dud. This was the worst fight of the night. No question about it. There is an argument to be made that this was a rushed mess that would have been better off not airing, but it did shine a light on the budding tag division and the duos jockeying for a title opportunity. Natalya and Tamina continued to build momentum here. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose shined, and Naomi and Lana looked as good as they have since forming their team. How WWE solves this puzzle has yet to be officially announced, but it should result in a women's tag team title picture much stronger coming out of WrestleMania than it has been in years. So this was a dud, but the post-match, though, was far better. That's all I will say. The post-match, far better, and we're getting some sort of cluster bleep at Mania, so there's no doubt about that. We'll have to wait and see. But anywho, just when he thought it couldn't get any worse than that, it gets worse. Oh, it gets worse. I know if MF was here, he probably would have made us talk about this segment, but Bullock and I, we are not even going to dignify this for 1 second. Even though the post-match on this, the post angle was far better. Sami Zayn with his little red carpet trailer and a special guest, YouTube celebrity, Logan Paul. Who cares? That's all I can say. Who cares? That's all I can say on that. And by the way, unfortunately, Logan Paul will unfortunately be involved in this match at WrestleMania because Sami goaded him into doing it. So
why? Why the point of this? I mean, why WWE? I mean, these two have put on some real good matches. Just let these two go at it. You don't need this pretty boy douchebag Logan Paul to be involved with this. Now you just kill the momentum of this. Do you really think anybody's going to give a damn about this match now?
I won't.
I certainly won't. I mean, if there was no Logan Paul, I would say absolutely I'd be interested in this. But yes. Now because of this, I went from being interested in it to not interested in it at all. So WWE, thanks a lot for ruining it, you bunch of effing morons.
Exactly. I mean, Bad Bunny's bad enough, but you got to throw this ham and egg on top of it. Please, give me a break. However, the much-hyped appearance by Logan Paul amounted to nothing, as he didn't bring anything of note to the segment. He looked uneasy and uncomfortable, perhaps nervous. But I will say Sami Zayn, on the other hand, was extraordinary. He chewed the scenery, making the most of the segment and reminding fans why he has been one of the bright spots of COVID-era WWE. He was nothing short of outstanding, even as Kevin Owens dropped him. Their match, if it is allowed to meet its potential, has the potential to be a genuine show stealer and one of the defining bouts of a jam-packed card. But with Logan Paul being involved in this now, I seriously have doubts. But we'll see. But anyways, then we had another cutout here. Bianca Belair. She went up against Carmella. Bianca Belair wins the match in roughly 2.5 minutes. Like most of this show, this felt like a placeholder segment. Belair got the win after selling way too much for Carmella, and Banks nearly got one more over on her top contender. Instead, the stare down ensued and nothing was really accomplished between the rivals. it was merely an excuse to keep both women on screen while simultaneously putting Carmella over in defeat as the woman who proved she could hang with the Rumble winner. WWE's insistence on 50-50 booking, evidenced here by Carmella dominating only to lose, so Belair continued her winning ways, benefits no one in the long run. I would probably give this about 1 to 1.5 stars for the effort. That's the best I can go. So not much more to say on that. And then Apollo Crews cut a promo, and you want to talk about taking. Here's another case of exciting match to. I don't know what the heck to make of this. Apollo Crews challenged Big E to a Nigerian drum fight. What? What is this?
Are you freaking kidding me?
Nigerian drum fight?
Oh.
I don't even know what that is. Nigerian drum fight. Well,
what the? Oh.
This match had Savage Steamboat potential. This had Razor Shawn potential. It had Piper Brett in potential. Maybe even Rollins Miz Baszler potential. Oh man, I don't know what to make of that. But we'll have to wait and see. Let's not, totally poo-poo on this yet. I'm just perplexed. That's all I can say on that. Maybe next week.
I'm sorry, Florio. I'm poo-pooing all over it.
I don't blame you because that's what you do and that's who you are. So, but let's wait and see. So,
well, all I can say is they need to prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Prove us wrong.
Yeah, prove us wrong, but I'm not going to hold my breath on this.
Nigerian drum fight. Man alive. What are they going to think of next? Well, finally a bright spot here. The main event of the evening, a street fight. Daniel Bryan versus J Uso. Daniel Bryan wins the match, 13 minutes and 5 seconds. Michael Bullock, nothing more to say here except hands down the fight of the night. And boy, did they need this to say what otherwise was a blast show here tonight.
Yeah, this match here really saved this show from being an absolute train wreck and disaster, even though it probably already was with all this nonsense we had. I'll give this about 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Hands down, the fight of the night. These two definitely could get on, and definitely when you add in the street fight mantra, it definitely adds to it. So, and it definitely gives Daniel Bryan the momentum going into to WrestleMania. So nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, this was definitely the fight of the night. Like I said, 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. To both Edge and Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan proved he was not just some guy who schemed his way into a title shot at WrestleMania. First, he outlasted J Uso and showed he can brawl as well as anyone. Then he left both heels lying, sending a message loudly and clearly to anyone doubting his ability to capture the Universal title on April 11th. Edge was great on commentary too, filling the role of the paranoid bad guy, whether he was telling Uso not to look at him or chastising Michael Cole for considering Bryan a better high-pressure wrestler than him. The rated R superstar relished the opportunity to be the heel rather than the returning babyface just happy to be back in wrestling. The story involving these three has been the best thing in the weeks and months leading into WrestleMania, so it should be of no real surprise that on this night of underwhelming creative, Bryan, Edge, and Reigns excelled. So, fight of the night here, no question about that. So not much really more to say on that 3.5, 3 3/4. So with that, let's get into our overall review. Yeah, not so good, Al. The hype for the bigger WrestleMania matches was solid. I will say that. But this was a middle of the road show here. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 for the effort. I mean, the main event literally saved this show. Without the main event, we probably would have been looking at maybe almost like what we had on Raw Monday night, like a 2 to 3 out of 10. But we had one great match, which was that main event. Second best fight of the night was the 8-man tag. That was solid. Edge's opening promo, that was very good. You know how much Bullock and I love the Angry Edge, and that was vintage Angry Edge on that promo, by the way. And that's really, I mean, those were the only real bright spots. So if I were to, dial it down for you, for those of you who are, pressed for time, time constraints, what have you, main event, absolutely. 8-man tag, Edge's promo, and I would say that's pretty much it. Everything else you can skip because we had both women's matches were ho-hum diva fights, if I'm going to be honest with you, and then you also had that ridiculous Sami Zayn and Logan Paul nonsense, whatever. But I got high hopes for next week's show because next week, like I said, we have that fatal 4-way for the tag team championship with Ziggler and Rude against the Street Profits, the Alpha Academy, and the Mysterios. And also announced for that show, we will have the return of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. As you know, we didn't have it last year. Obviously, I think you all know the reason for that. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but nonetheless, for the first time since 35, 2 years ago, we will have an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. And, it's going to be, the mid-card jobber guys pretty much. Not just superstars from SmackDown, but we're going to have superstars from Raw in there as well. And how awesome would it be for me to see a Raw guy win this match on SmackDown? I mean, that would be freaking awesome. But I highly doubt it. I think a SmackDown guy will win it. And while we have a moment here, I do have the confirmed participants in no particular order: Akira Tozawa, Angel Garza, Cedric Alexander, Drew Gulak, Elias, Eric, Grand Metalik, Humberto Carrillo, Jackson Riker, J Uso, Kalisto, King Corbin, Lince Dorado, Mace, Murphy, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, Sheldon Benjamin, Shinsuke Nakamura, Slapjack, T-Bar, and Tucker. Those are your participants for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal next week. And they also said there's going to be some final hype for Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan's triple threat match. Maybe they'll throw some other stuff in there. I'm sure we're going to end up getting this Nigerian drum match. I really don't know what that is, but I hope it's something good. Even though I'm now starting to have doubts about that match. And that was one of the matches I was really looking forward to on the SmackDown side. But that definitely took it down a notch. But it's a match we've never heard of. So I'm willing to see what it's like. So, maybe they can still have a great match. You never know. But, we'll find out soon enough. But for me, this was a 5 out of 10. One great match. One solid match, a solid segment, everything else, sorry. 5 out of 10 for me. Bullock put a bow on it.
All right. Florio, I think I'm about to do something that, I'm going to go off on this show. I mean, and I'm not going to go Phenom style. Florio, I'm actually going to do something different.
You're not going to give this show a 0 out of 10, are you?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
It was not a 0.
It was not a 0. I'll tell you that right now. But I'm about to do something. You know how I always like to go on a Phenom rant?
Whatever you do, keep it clean because we're on my channel.
Well, I'm about to go Angry Edge style on this.
Oh, this I gotta hear. Let's go.
All right. WWE, what the hell are you doing? You got 8 nights to give us. You got 8 nights till WrestleMania, and you're giving us a crap show like this? No, I don't appreciate it one damn bit.
Beautiful.
You got next week to impress myself and Anthony Florio. Because if you thought this week was bad, I am really gonna go Angry Edge even to a new level. 4 out of 10. I'm done.
All right. Yes, sir. That was great. Well done, man. That was great. So, all right. So with that will put the bow on this edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in this evening. Now, as you all know, this past Monday night, we didn't have a ridiculously Raw because let's face it, the Raw was far worse than what we saw tonight. I mean, I had to endure 3 horrible segments of my own, and we didn't do ridiculously Raw. We canceled it because it was that bad. And Derek Ferreira went on a YouTube rant like he's been known to do because of that. So he went on to call it the worst Raw of the year, and I 100% agree with it because it was. So what I'm going to do here, since I'm running this show here tonight, and I'm sure MF won't mind my doing this. As you know, this upcoming Monday night, when we have Ridiculously Raw, there will not be a Tony's Take because of the fact that we will not be because we're going to be previewing the NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver in place of that. So since I'm running the show here tonight, I would like to at this time do a Tony's Take because I'm running the show here tonight. So with that being said, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to review Impact Wrestling from this past Tuesday night. And I'm also going to give you a quick rundown of tonight's 205 Live. So with that being said, Impact Wrestling, we started it off with the Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Fire and Flavor, squaring off against Jessica Havoc and Nevaeh. Fire and Flavor win the match. 2.25 stars, fine match. They kept it short and it heated up towards the end. The Nevaeh heel turn was expected but welcomed as the team wasn't adding much at this point. Sami Callihan against Larry D of Triple XL. Sami Callihan wins the match. 3 stars, pretty good physical match. Larry looked good here, delivering some heavy shots with Callihan, shining as always in a TV sprint. This feud still isn't entirely clicking with me, but they have a little bit of time left. Brian Myers went up against Suicide. Brian Myers wins the match. No rating. This was a wrestling match with well-executed moves, but really didn't have much purpose other than giving Myers a rub. TJP and Josh Alexander against X Division champion Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. The heels, Fulton and Austin, win the match. 3.25 stars. This was an exciting match to no one's surprise. These 4 are great, and I'm down for TJP and Josh to have an elevated feud. Then we had the main event, the 1,000th match of the legendary career of the Cowboy James Storm, and they went old school on this one. We're talking NWA TNA style. Two of the founding pioneers of this company. Cowboy James Storm, one-on-one with Eric Young. James Storm wins the match. 3.25 stars. Good, wholesome stuff here. Sometimes you don't have to get too cute with things, and having Storm win here felt right. It felt like for once he was truly appreciated for the star he is and has been. EY apparently tore his ACL in this bout, which didn't cause the quality to drop noticeably. Good main event, oozing old school NWA TNA nostalgia. 8 out of 10, strong show, quality matches and promos across the board. It was so great to see Chris Harris. Chris Harris, the longtime tag team partner of James Storm, one of the greatest tag teams in Impact Wrestling history, America's Most Wanted, maybe the greatest tag team of all time. All those tag team titles they won back in the day. So fun to watch. Swingers Palace with Kenny Omega and Don Callis. Fun segments like this were combined with gripping emotions surrounding James Storm, who was well presented throughout the night. First half of the show was solid, but the second half really elevated the night. Memorable show here, no question about that. And that's really all there is to say there. Now, as you all know, big news from the world of Impact Wrestling. Starting next week, Impact Wrestling will be moving to Thursday nights, starting next Thursday, April the 8th. And it will technically it will coincide with it will coincide with night 2 of the whatchamacallit there, the takeover, Stand and Deliver. So so what we're gonna see next week on Impact Wrestling, we have ourselves a huge 6-man tag team matchup where we will see AEW World Heavyweight Champion Kenny Omega teaming up with the Good Brothers, and they're going to be squaring off against Impact World Heavyweight Champion Rich Swann, Willie Mack, and Eddie Edwards. Huge 6-man main event that will headline the first Thursday Night Impact, effective next week. And that's really what there is to say here. And then on top of that, next Saturday, there will be a Impact Plus special entitled Hardcore Justice. I don't know. I don't know much about the card, but I do know it will take place at 3 p.m. A special start time of 3 p.m. on Saturday, April 10th. So it will coincide with it will air on the same day, but it will not air at the same time as WrestleMania. They obviously realized that, and they're like, yeah, no one's going to want to watch us. So what we do have is we're going to have a title versus career match. Deonna Purrazzo will defend the Knockouts Championship against former ECW mainstay Jazz. Yes, those two will go at it. And we will also have a number 1 contender Knockouts weapon match with Jordynne Grace, Susan, Tenille Dashwood, Jessica Havoc, Rosemary, and Alicia Edwards. And that's all that I have for right now. On the what day is it? On the April 19th edition, or I should say on the April 12th edition of Ridiculously Raw, I will have a full recap of the show. So so tune into that. So so there's something to look forward to. And now let's get into 205 Live from this evening. I don't know if the review is up yet, but we do have. I don't know if they've done a 205 Live. No, I don't think it's up yet. So maybe I'll just put an end to the show for this evening. So so yeah. What I do, the only thing I do know is I don't have a review of it, but they did have a couple of matches announced for this show here tonight. Chase Parker and Sunil Singh against Tony Nese and Arya Daivari, and Mansoor against August Gray. So I'll get into that on another time. So so now that we'll put the bow on this edition, this special edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. We will be back with you on Monday as we start WrestleMania week, which will start on Monday night. Ridiculously Raw. We will review the final Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania. And instead of the Tony's Take, like I said, we are going to preview NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver from top to bottom, every nook and cranny of that show of both nights. We'll be off on Tuesday and Wednesday because then on Thursday, in place of Strictly Sports, we are going to have a special Thursday night edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem as we will review AEW Dynamite and the entire NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver show. Next Friday night on this program, the Cerebral Smack Talk, we will review the final SmackDown before WrestleMania. And then on top of that, we will preview WrestleMania 37 from top to bottom. And then from there, Saturday night, we will recap night 1 of WrestleMania. I will be pinch hitting once again for MF due to work commitments beyond his control. And then on Sunday, April 11th, night 2, the night 2 recap, that will be hosted by MF. MF will be back for that one. So there you go. There's the schedule. So that's it. So until Monday night, when we start WrestleMania week, this is Anthony Florio sitting in for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, of course, good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Twisted Angel and the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Woodson, and always in forever, the Hardcore Pipe Bomb at KG401, Derek Forever. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed weekend, a blessed Easter weekend, and until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw as we start WrestleMania week, you've been watching this special edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, as we always say, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.